Through these hidden surveillance cameras, you and I are about to watch real stories unfold, documenting the brutal heartbreak and betrayal caused by a cheating partner. This broadcast is completely dedicated to the loyal and aimed right at the deceivers, to push them back toward honesty and basic moral decency. Coming up next on this episode of Cheaters, that is what he calls working. We know exactly where they are right now. Our investigators confirmed their location at a brewery. What is going on here? This is what you call working. Is this really what you call working? No, no, no. What in the world is going on, Spencer? Real reality television is brought to you by the dedicated private eyes at Cheaters Detective Agency. Welcome back to another chaotic, dramatic episode of real reality television on Cheaters. Tonight's investigation focuses heavily on Tatum Truba, a young, stressed-out bartender, deeply worried about her partner's recent behavior. She came to us demanding answers, and Tatum's desperate cries for help finally reached our investigators. Tatum started working at a local bar a couple years ago, where Spencer walked in with friends. That was how they met. After that, almost every single time she was on the clock, Spencer would come in just to hang out and talk with her. They simply started as friends. Eventually, he asked her out on a couple of dates, got her number, and the romance officially began. She confessed she had been completely in love with him ever since. Her entire family absolutely adored Spencer. He was actually the first boyfriend of hers that everyone truly loved, especially her own dad. They would go fishing and hang out. She absolutely loved that Spencer built such a tight, close relationship with her whole family. Spencer, a 28-year-old mechanic, allegedly destroyed their relationship. Armed with Tatum's information, Cheaters headquarters deployed a squad of seasoned investigators to quietly surveil the suspect's residence. Sometime later, detectives finally spot the suspect known to us as Spencer, sliding right into his vehicle. Spencer casually drives a short distance to a local movie theater. A completely unknown woman waits for our suspect. She eagerly greets the man with a warm hug. They enter the building for a movie date, while Tatum previously claimed he was always out with the boys. She noted he was always working late while she watched his daughter, who sometimes just wanted to call and say goodnight. But Spencer was never picking up the phone. His phone calls were always brief until one of Tatum's friends actually stumbled across his active profile on Bumble. Tatum had no idea what that was, soon realizing it was a popular dating app used to hook up with other people. When she directly confronted him about it, Spencer swore the account was strictly from his college days. He claimed he only used it to meet new people long before he ever met her. But she quickly discovered photos on that very profile that originally featured them both, where he intentionally cropped her entirely out. She could not believe he still called the profile old, especially since it was loaded with very recent pictures of him. Stick with me. The suspect and his date finally exit the theater. As they say their final farewells, the mystery woman leaps right into the suspect's arms. She goes one way, while Spencer heads straight back to his vehicle. Our investigators trail the suspect back home, wrapping up this first day of intense surveillance. At this stage, Tatum didn't even know if Spencer still loved her. She felt like she was just functioning as his overgrown babysitter. She was just someone paying his bills and covering his car payments. She constantly wondered if his romantic feelings for her had completely died. She missed the love they once shared. If he was actually cheating on her now, the ultimate betrayal would honestly crush her. She knew she could never stay with him after that. After everything she had sacrificed, finding out he was unfaithful would simply break her heart into pieces. Let's watch as our agents stake out the suspect's home. A short while later, private investigators spot Spencer walking out the front door. The suspect drives across town, followed closely by detectives, straight to a tavern. Hidden camera footage from our undercover operator reveals the suspect getting cozy with his companion, a woman identified only as Krista. Spencer and his mystery date spend the entire afternoon chatting. Hours later, Spencer exits the pub, closely trailed by our field operative. He drives home, officially concluding the first day's undercover investigation. Sticking to the surveillance plan, investigators keep their watchful eyes locked firmly on the cheating suspect's residence. That afternoon, both Spencer and his new lady friend leave the property together. Playing the perfect gentleman, he opens the car door for his femme fatale before sliding into the driver's seat. Our cameras follow closely as the suspect drives his date to a local grocery store. The cheating pair browses the adult aisle. After bagging their suspicious items, Spencer walks his romantic playmate back to the car. Our team quietly trails Spencer and Krista back to his place. Once again, Spencer plays the role of a perfect gentleman and opens the door for his side piece. We gather all the damning evidence and immediately contact an incredibly anxious Tatum. Coming up next, the explosive confrontation. Now that Tatum's worst fears are verified, let's head to the briefing. Racked with heavy anxiety, Tatum finally forces herself to face reality. He asked how Tatum was feeling. She admitted she had definitely seen better days. He completely understood her pain. Cutting straight to the chase, he reminded her why the cameras were rolling. He gently asked her to explain what had been going wrong between her and Spencer. Tatum confessed her suspicions about his cheating. She explained that early in their romance, they were incredibly happy. But lately, everything had just gone rapidly downhill. Now she felt like nothing more than a babysitter. The host nodded, noting that she acted like a mother to Spencer's child. Tatum agreed, having grown deeply attached to her. He reminded her that they were here because the team had found hard proof. He prepared to show her exactly what the hidden cameras had captured. He asked if she was ready for the evidence. Tatum bravely braced herself. The tape rolled. It started outside Spencer's house, showing him walking out, glued to his phone. Let's watch as he hops into his car and speeds away. Let's watch the investigators follow Spencer. He drove quite a distance before finally pulling up to the local movie theater. Stepping from his car, he pocketed his phone and was immediately greeted by a young woman. Tatum instantly recognized her coworker Krista. The surveillance confirmed she was indeed a colleague from work. Krista had actually shown Tatum his dating profile earlier, urging her to leave the relationship. Right after that, the two went inside. Following the movie, they strolled outside, and Spencer immediately went in for a tight hug. Krista excitedly leaped right into his arms. She had her hands all over him as they shared a very passionate, heavy kiss. Tatum looked away, unable to even watch the painful scene unfold. The team felt terrible, explaining they only showed this footage for a good reason. They wanted to help her finally get through this nightmare. Since they worked together, she needed the full truth before seeing one final clip. After that, they had his exact location and would finally move in quickly. The sting operation continued to unfold rapidly. Investigators waited outside Spencer's house until he emerged with that same woman. He casually walked over to his car and opened the passenger door for her. The cheating pair even walked out holding hands. The surveillance footage rolled on as they both got inside and drove off together. Leaving his place, they headed straight to a local grocery store and stepped out of the car. Tatum wondered if he was terrified of being seen. They were parading around right in the wide open, completely without any shame, acting so casually. It seemed inevitable that somebody would eventually catch them red-handed. Stick with me, because things escalate when they step inside that market. Spencer suddenly received a phone call. The investigator then played the captured audio, asking Tatum if she remembered having this exact phone conversation with him. On the recording, Tatum confronted him about ignoring her messages all day long. Spencer brushed her off, lying that he had just been incredibly busy. Tatum demanded to know what he was actually doing. He stuttered, making up a fake story about drinking and doing side jobs. He fumbled his words, blaming the alcohol to cover up his tracks. Tatum sounded doubtful as he continued stammering about working random gigs here and there. Spencer fed her more lies about having hours of downtime between his shifts. Tatum quickly reminded him that his own daughter had been desperately trying to reach him all day. Spencer stammered, clearly caught totally off guard. Tatum angrily urged him to call his child back and handle his actual family responsibilities. Panicking, Spencer abruptly said he had to go, sparking her immediate suspicion. He quickly rushed off the phone. Tatum realized his work was fake. Instead of working, He was parading this other woman around like his real wife. They looked incredibly comfortable together, with his arm wrapped tightly around her shoulder. He did all this while lying to Tatum. After browsing the alcohol aisle, the cheating couple shamelessly went to grab some contraceptives. Watching them grab protection, you and I can see why Tatum completely snapped. Let's review the footage. After finishing at the store, they walked out carrying groceries and condoms, alcohol and all. They hopped into the vehicle and drove back to the house. He opened her door ever so politely. He grabbed her hand and escorted her out. The victim watched the tape completely stunned as they entered, arm in arm. She felt entirely betrayed. The host told her he understood the video was agonizing to watch. He gently assured her that everything would be okay. He reminded her the investigation team was there for her. Forget the cheater. The crew wanted to support her and his young daughter. That was the most important thing. The detectives had just tracked their exact location. The unfaithful couple was at a local brewery. They hit the road. The host asked if she was ready. She was absolutely ready for Spencer and Krista. The crew guided her forward. The host promised he had her back. They were there to finally get some answers. That was the main goal. He asked again if she was truly prepared. She agreed. He advised her not to show any fear. He urged her to ask every single question to demand the truth about this secret affair. The vans parked and everyone scrambled out. It was finally time to hunt the cheater down. The producers yelled at the camera crew to hustle. They rushed straight toward the front entrance. The team hooked a sharp left into the building. They spotted the targets immediately. She confronted them, demanding to know if this was considered working. She screamed about his fake overtime, while he immediately panicked. She yelled at Spencer to explain himself, ordering the other woman to move aside. Krista refused to move, acting defensive and entirely confused by the ambush. The victim reminded him of their relationship, screaming about the child he had left at home. She kept demanding how he could abandon his family like this. He shouted no. Krista yelled to stay away. Chaos. Krista smugly claimed he was exactly where he wanted to be. The victim shouted she didn't care. She questioned his new choice. Krista claimed him. Coming up, the dramatic conclusion. Stick with me here. Detectives tracked the cheating pair directly to a local brewery. She demanded to know if sitting at a bar was considered working. She screamed at him to explain his secret double life. Spencer begged Peter for a moment. He pleaded to stop the filming. He promised to explain everything if she came closer. The host stepped in, introducing himself as Clark Gable from the show Cheaters. The crew arrived because she called. She was terrified that her partner was cheating on her. The mistress snapped that he was right where he belonged. The host asked if her name was Krista, and she confirmed they worked together. Let's look closely at what happened. The host reminded him about the loyal woman back home. The other woman fired back, insisting he would be with his girlfriend if he wanted. Instead, he was standing exactly where he truly wanted to be. The devastated girlfriend called her a homewrecker, screaming to know if this was his choice. Was this his final decision? The mistress confidently declared that he was staying right there with her. The investigator pressed the cheating boyfriend, asking if he was absolutely sure. The suspect awkwardly defended himself, claiming they were just adults grabbing some drinks. The girlfriend scoffed at the drinks excuse, pointing out the condoms they bought. She yelled at Spencer, claiming he just wanted to play his little games. The insults started flying as they took cheap shots at each other's past. Was that really the truth? The mistress maliciously mocked the girlfriend, claiming she was just bitter about being stuck home babysitting. The girlfriend screamed back that she brought the cameras because he was actively cheating with her. Spencer denied the infidelity, insisting she was just a casual girl from work. The investigator pressed him on why they were buying condoms. He asked if both of them were going out. The mistress snapped that they knew exactly what they did without needing cameras explaining it. Spencer nervously admitted that they went to the movies one single time. He kept weakly repeating that going to watch a film was just a one-time event. He claimed the grocery store trip was entirely innocent, desperately asking if friends couldn't hang out together. Here is where it gets crazy. You and I can hear the phone call he took with his mistress standing right beside him. The host presented the audio evidence of Spencer supposedly at work. That was what he actually did while working. His girlfriend cried that she was home raising their daughter, begging to just leave. Spencer tried to shut the whole confrontation down, urging his mistress to leave. The investigator scolded him for showing zero remorse, especially having a daughter. Spencer stammered, making weak excuses about how they were only buying some wine. Spencer callously asked why he should feel any remorse at all. The investigator reminded him of that other specific aisle. He demanded Spencer explain buying condoms in that other aisle. The host taunted the guilty man, asking if the cat got his tongue. Spencer finally threw his hands up in defeat, accepting he was completely caught. He kept repeating that they had him, completely giving up the lie. His furious girlfriend told them both to find a brand new babysitter. She frantically asked Spencer where their daughter would go. Where would their daughter go now? Spencer defensively shot back that he would figure out the child's situation himself. He decided to leave with her. The investigator calmly stated that he wasn't trying to upset anyone. He wanted his side of the story, so you and I could finally understand the real truth behind this messy breakup. He stood there totally speechless. You can see the girlfriend demanding answers. She made it clear her main goal was to pull him away from the other woman immediately. She wanted to head home and settle this argument privately. The other woman quickly questioned what he had promised over the phone. She pointed out that he just claimed he was leaving with his mistress. She accused him of walking out with her and helping set up her dating profile. He tried deflecting, insisting they were just co-workers at work. He claimed his personal life was private, but the girls noted he had previously said they were actually very close. He tried denying their tight bond, begging the women to just listen to his weak excuses. His girlfriend reminded him they had shared a whole year together. The mistress then chimed in, revealing her own relationship with the cheater. When asked how long this affair lasted, he stubbornly insisted it didn't matter. He arrogantly stated that only his wants mattered, trying to rush everyone away. The women scoffed, pointing out exactly how ridiculous his current behavior looked. They realized he was just playing the exact same manipulative game with everyone. He desperately tried to convince his mistress to leave the scene with him. He offered her a ride, but she fiercely rejected him. She made it crystal clear he wasn't taking her anywhere after this massive betrayal. She refused to let him juggle them, dropping a harsh ultimatum. Choose one woman right now, or the whole thing is completely over. He finally acknowledged the television crew filming his massive downfall. Shrugging off the cameras, he casually muttered that it is what it is. He completely refused to handle the confrontation like a mature adult would. When asked about his next move, the cheater announced he was finally leaving. He insisted he was taking his mistress home, visibly hating every single second. The mistress shot him down again, saying his hollow plans didn't matter anymore. He claimed he made the right choice, desperately trying to escape the drama. Let's watch as the host steps in, forcing the cheater to answer one final question. The investigator confronted him about buying condoms and lube earlier that night. He mocked him, asking if the supplies were for actual protection. The exposed cheater could only stammer, desperately trying to explain himself. The confrontation wasn't over. The host sharply warned the suspect to stop playing dumb about everything. The cornered man pathetically tried to justify sleeping with his new mistress. They demanded that he simply start by admitting his undeniable infidelity up front. Since the crew caught everything on camera, the cheater arrogantly refused to confess, simply stating that the filmed evidence was what it was. At this point, the suspect decided to cut his losses and flee with the mistress. He announced they were leaving to do their own thing without any more problems. His now ex-girlfriend sarcastically told him to go have fun doing his own thing. He bitterly promised to enjoy his life once the television crew finally left him alone. Both sides angrily confirmed the romantic relationship was completely finished. It was officially over. Suddenly, the intense situation escalated further. You and I can see the security rushing in. Everyone scrambled for absolute safety. Let us watch. Listen closely. The host offered her a moment. She agreed. After the disturbing events of that reality television showdown, Tatum realized she had an incredibly difficult choice to make.
Stick with me.
We will find out her decision later. Up next is Hilly. You and I are going to watch this fake photographer formulate a wild excuse for his cheating scandal. In his interview, he claimed he thought a neighbor was attacking him. He said he was totally confused until he turned around and finally saw that it was just his dear beloved Amelia. He insisted he was always sitting there working so incredibly hard for her. He claimed he was just putting himself on the line, simply doing his job. He admitted that when she walked in, the timing might have been bad. He knew it looked suspicious, but he swore to the camera it meant absolutely nothing at all. During the bust, he desperately told her it was just a normal photo shoot. Amelia exploded, asking who these women were. The models chimed in, claiming he promised them newspaper features. They expected parties. Amelia quickly warned the naive girls that he wasn't paying them for anything, but the models insisted he had already promised them. They confidently stated he had their addresses and was mailing the checks. Amelia exposed his infidelity scam, yelling that he pulled this trick every month. The confused models demanded clear answers. She revealed she was his long-term girlfriend, calling him a piece of absolute garbage to his face. Later on, he stammered, trying to spin the real truth of the matter. He claimed everything was completely professional. He tried playing the poor victim. He complained about getting ambushed and hit right on the side of the face. He whined about being pushed around with massive television cameras shoved straight into his face. He confessed he was just spitting out panicked words to defend himself right then. He firmly denied doing anything wrong. He claimed he just spent time finding models so he could bring them over and shoot a few really simple photos. Back at the fight, he babbled about her always planning surprises. Amelia screamed her furious question. He stuttered back in complete denial. He begged for it to end. He bizarrely tried to convince her the disastrous situation was hilarious. The tension in the room exploded. He declared his love. He begged her to come back. She warned him to never lay a single hand on her again. She demanded her gifts back, telling him to get off his knees, just like that other girl was doing earlier. She hurled another insult. She screamed that she saw everything. So what do we make of this? He admitted to cheating, but pathetically claimed he got paid. She just would not answer his phone calls. He texted her 108 times, and to this very day, she refuses to speak with him, so he gave up on dating. He did try going on one single date recently, but when he broke down, crying, right there at the dinner table, the poor woman got up and left. That was pretty harsh, claiming she could not handle his emotional baggage. You and I can see there is only one woman he truly wants, and he wants to be with her for the rest of his natural life. And that is his ex, Amelia. If she is out there watching tonight, he is waiting. Furious that her boyfriend took this cheating route, Tatum discusses her difficult position. She claimed she could not believe he picked another woman after she wasted a year with him. She cared for his daughter, yet he still had the nerve to choose the mistress. Meanwhile, our suspect Spencer spoke freely. He confirmed he left Tatum for Krista, feeling absolutely zero remorse about his blatant infidelity. He actually enjoys keeping his romantic options open. The suspect's companion, Krista, did open up to our producers, admitting that while she sees Spencer, he is definitely not the only guy she dates. Listen to me, if you do not get your programming from Goldstein's, well, we both lose money.